The newest Bedrock Edition beta has arrived, 1/19/2021. This beta brings with it 5 minor changes that you are likely to notice in your everyday gameplay, along with 2 major changes that are going to drastically increase the performance of servers and realms, help decrease lag and world size. Overall, this beta is a fairly solid one, and it introduces dozens of other bug fixes as well. And keep in mind, this is the 1.19.20 beta, so that means that the 1.19.10 update is likely going to be releasing in a couple of days or within the next couple of weeks. That update brings with it a ton of bug fixes, Allay duplication, and the locate biome command. So let's take a look at the bug fixes and changes that you're likely to notice in your everyday gameplay. First of all, if you're playing on hard mode, there's now a 10% chance that zombies can't break down doors. So this means that wooden doors will actually get broken and drop off. As you can see, they are cracking very slowly, and this means that zombies will be able to break into your house, get to your villagers, and otherwise invade your territory. It's a pretty small chance, but as you can see, you know, just out of 7 or so zombies, 2 of them were able to break down doors. So this is going to happen more likely than you think, and if you want to avoid zombies breaking your doors, use iron doors. They can't break those. Another interesting change is that if you equip golden armor whilst being attacked by piglins, they will actually stop being hostile towards you, like immediately. So previously you could put on some gold armor, but they would still attack you. But now you are instant best friends. Hi buddy, how you doing? Nice tusks there. Your eyes are kind of scary though. And of course, as soon as you take this off, they're gonna hate you again, so run away or just put it back on and then you'll be fine. Ow! That guy still hated me, and I still died, and they stole my diamond armor. That's very rude. It seemed like that piglin was too far away to notice that I had put on the chest plate, so maybe this feature needs a little bit of tuning. There's been a slight change to polar bears where they will no longer panic. So for instance, if you attack a passive mob, they're gonna start running around and running away from you, and that is called panicking. But that does not happen to polar bears anymore. They just come straight towards you and they start fighting you like bears should. So yeah, polar bears are now more aggressive, and definitely don't try and fight a bear while you're in powdered snow. It's just a bad idea, guys. Don't do it. Pro-life advice, don't fight bears. Kind of an interesting bug fix, zombie villagers that do not have any jobs or professions can now ride in boats and minecarts again. Previously, these guys would not get inside of boats or minecarts, which is a very strange bug. Like, they just wouldn't do it. So now they are cooperational, and they will actually ride around with you. And then you can take them on tours around your swamp, and invite them over to hang out with your villager friends. Look how friendly they are. They're getting along so well. There's been some updates to the Ravager. They can now break all of the different things from 1.17 regarding foliage. So they can now break the mangrove leaves, along with the azalea and flowering azalea leaves, the azalea bushes, big and little drip leaf, the propagules, the, you know, glow berries, the spore blossoms, hanging roots, and a couple other things as well. So basically, they've been updated in all the ways that they should be. If we give that guy a little ride, as you can see, he's going to break basically everything. It doesn't appear that he is breaking the mangrove propagules, though, and he absolutely should, so that is another bug. So add that to your test that you do every update, see if the new foliage gets broken by Ravagers. There's been a huge update to how servers and realms handle chunk loading. So now the clients can generate their own level chunks, saving the server from having to generate and stream over every chunks in view. So basically, this means that you can see terrain, but the server doesn't need to worry about it. So I can render all of this stuff in front of me, but the server that I'm playing on doesn't have to worry about it at all. This is going to drastically increase server performance for realms, servers, and pretty much all forms of multiplayer, and it's a huge optimization to Minecraft. This should also resolve another bug that we were having on Bedrock Edition, where if a player on a server had a higher render distance than the server, then that would cause a significant amount of server lag. So if I had a render distance of 50 and the server I was on had a render distance of 16, that would cause a bunch of lag, but I'm pretty sure that this fix will resolve that issue. There's also been another absolutely huge bug fix in this beta, so now when an entity dies, its data is actually completely removed from the world. Previously, the game would still remember that entity, and that includes like normal entities like mobs and your mob farms, things that despawn from you going far enough away from them, even items on the ground that despawn, I think. This bug was having a large impact on the file size of worlds. For example, when we updated Truly Bedrock to 1.19, there was over 3 million entities left in the trimmed chunks. None of those mobs should have really existed. There should have been maybe a couple hundred of them, but instead there was 3 million entities in the game files that had to be deleted. So this should help keep your world sizes slightly smaller in the long run, and overall it's just going to be good for the game in general. We have even more changes to the Wandering Trader. They will no longer spawn in water sources, they won't spawn underground, and they will no longer spawn in lava either, which is kind of unfortunate. That's like the best place for them to spawn. A very minor change, but the in portal item is now called in portal frame instead of just in portal. It was like that for years and years, and I've been wondering when they were going to fix this. Very, very minor bug, but you know what? It's no longer in the game. There was also a bug fix to the Wild Update music, which caused it to not play in creative mode when you're in one of these biomes. But now, as you can see, if we turn on our music, we got Wild Update tunes! There's been a minor change to the Skulk Catalyst. It will now bloom whenever a mob dies next to it, even if that mob doesn't drop any experience. And by bloom, I mean have this little animation on top of it, like that. Just little soul particles and stuff. Of course, the mob needs to drop experience in order for it to actually spread Skulk, though. And of course, another beta, another 25 changes to the Skulk sensor. We now have a bunch more changes and updates to it. Literally every beta, we're getting like 5 or 6 different changes to it, and it's great to see. Lots more refinement and lots more opportunities with the Skulk sensor. There's been a couple of changes to the Mangrove propagules. You will no longer be able to get an item from this thing right here until it is all the way fully grown. Previously, you could silk touch like this little stub right here and get a full propagule from it. And these things will also no longer change color or turn red depending on what other blocks are in the area. You may have noticed that bug if you built a propagule farm. Money mangrove roots are now directional, just like logs. So previously they were always just straight up and down, but now you can place them on the sides or forwards or backwards or however you want to. So a lot more design opportunities and detail opportunities. And there's been another great update to the mangrove and azalea leaves. These things will no longer prevent trees from growing. This was a very strange bug, but it has now been resolved, so we can grow a tree straight through all of those, which is going to make farming trees and growing things and decorating areas way easier. Mojang is also helping out those of you who play on iOS by adding support for middle mouse click, which is good. This gives you more functionality, more accessibility, and more customization with your controls. And of course, middle mouse click is typically what we use on PC to pick block items. If you like this video and want to stay up to date with more Bedrock Edition news, then consider dropping a like as it helps out the video and the channel a ton. If you're new here, then maybe consider subscribing to help us reach 500,000. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. And then there was silence.